Added a center console, a set of speakers, thinking about the SUV top, some racks, because I live in a place where I could actually use that up and down the coast. Somewhere around that third or fourth click, the number just stopped saying 24,950 altogether, and we were creeping well above 30,000 into the 32 plus range for the Slate truck. That's the whole trick with the Slate though. The sticker is kind of just the entry point. What you do after that, where you walk through it, is the actual truck that you're building, or SUV if you prefer. Hey, I'm Nick. Progress is perfection around here. Let's get into this video, talk about the Slate accessories, talk about what I think are some of the must-haves, and talk more about the buy from Slate or do-it-yourself approach that many of these things could be an option for some of you out there that are more capable at doing your own modifications or have friends that can help you out. If you don't know about the Slate truck, I've made a few videos about it and there's lots of information out there, but in general, it shows up bare on purpose and it comes with roll-up windows, no touch screens, no paint, basically a truck bed, some batteries, and some seats for you to drive it around. The rest of the truck is up to you to make yours. If you're used to shopping for trucks where the base model is the punishment trim, this feels wrong at first because it isn't. Slate built a truck where the bare blank slate, pun intended, I assume, is the whole idea. You're not supposed to keep it like this. You're supposed to actually build it. A guy named Cliff Jones left a comment I keep thinking about. He's 70 years old. His first car was a 1970 Ford Maverick. Not the truck, the car. And he remembered the old Ford ads that showed a woman pulling a front fender off by unbolting it, just to prove how simple the thing was. That's basically the Slate in 2026-7 is when they come out. It's a truck you're meant to take apart and put back together. For the DIY car folks, that's a plus. For those that are looking for more features, it's obviously a negative. Just check out my comments. Another owner basically said the quiet part out loud. He said the quirkiness and the uniqueness only make him want it more. And then they saw me coming. Slate is betting on exactly that person. Maybe it's you. It is definitely me. I tinker with all my cars. I tinker with everything. It's what I do. It's a part of who I am. And there's a reason that people like that love this truck. There's also another theory out there, which a lot of you in my comments said, that this truck is for people who don't want their car spying on them, that don't want it run by some third party, and don't want to pay a subscription to unlock stuff the car already has. You own it, you build it. Nobody's charging you a monthly fee to turn on your seat heater. That also means every single thing you might want on this truck turns into the same question. Do you buy it or do you build it? Do you go spend the money for it or do you do it yourself? The DIY folks can answer that right off the bat. And many of you can say you don't want to do a lot of the work. You just want a car that works. But Slate made the question more official. Go into their accessory store and almost everything carries a little install label. Beginner, moderate, advanced. They're telling you how hard it is to bolt things on yourself. They're basically telling you you could probably make or even source this yourself. And with the advanced stuff, that means maybe hand it to someone who knows wiring or whatever thing you're trying to do. The whole catalog is kind of like a dare to do it yourself, if you ask me. So let's walk through the tiers because the right answer kind of changes everything at every level. And maybe this video can help you out as I am trying to figure out what is worth my investment time and what is worth my investment money. We're going to start at the easy end, the beginner stuff. T-rails for mounting the gear. They run about $15 up to say 45. Phone mounts, little trim pieces, cup holders, storage bins. This is exactly where the comments got really loud, and they're right. A guy named the Steve Rogers said he's not even in the market. He just wants to play with a configurator and start printing parts on his 3D printer. Steve, you're speaking my language. I need to get a 3D printer first, but this is definitely a part of my personal development that I think will come with owning a Slate. Another comment said somebody should make an aftermarket frunk battery for it. That one definitely got me thinking. The third comment said that the thing that they like most about the Slate is the emphasis on open source service and parts. I couldn't agree more. I think that's something that we miss about the 70s, 80s, and 90s cars, or going back further if you can. That's a real sign there. That's the tell. The cheap, simple accessories are the ones you should probably never buy from Slate. Not because Slates are bad in any way, but because a $15 plastic T-rail is basically a spool of filament and a Saturday afternoon if you've got a printer. And if you don't have a printer like me, you probably have a friend or a neighbor or someone in the area that might even do this for you for next to nothing or for a meal or a coffee or whatever. In my opinion, this tier is going to have a whole cottage industry around it within a year or so. Printables, Etsy, some random dude's Facebook group with 100 files. Beginner tier, the answer is almost always DIY, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean there won't be pieces that you want to get from Slate. One thing I don't think is talked about enough, and maybe that's just because I'm thinking in a more colorful way, but the Slate comes in that gray injected plastic straight through the whole panel. There's no paint at all. And I don't think that's a limitation. That's because that's the biggest DIY canvas on this new vehicle right now. No clear coat to ruin, no body shop to bankrupt. You want it black, wrap it. You want it green, wrap it. Slate will basically sell you any color you want, and the shop will do it for you. But I think this is a huge DIY opportunity for people on the Slate truck. You can buy the wrap, pay a shop, or spend a weekend and a heat gun learning how to do it yourself. Mess it up, peel it, do it again. Try that on a painted truck and you're out at least $4,000 or $5,000 or more. Try that on the Slate and you're just out a roll of vinyl and a few hours of learning. And that's where things start to get more interesting, in my opinion. The moderate stuff, as Slate calls it, is stuff like the center console, which runs about $250. In my opinion, that's one of the first mods I would choose to do, or at least find a way to make happen. I always love having a center console in my vehicles. Next to that, you have the speakers, the front stage center speaker, the two-door speakers. I mean, it kind of depends on if the wiring is in the truck and they're just popping speakers in, or if you need to rewire the whole thing. That, to me, is something that I can't really answer that broadly, because as a guy who loves car audio stuff, I just want a blank slate to build a system in. And this is also kind of an interesting place where the buy it or DIY it math gets a little bit closer. Now, if you're skillful enough, you can build a center console. This tier is really a coin flip. If you want it to look factory, obviously buy Slates. If you want a project and have the ability to make it look factory, you should be doing DIY without a doubt. If you want to just tinker and figure it out and you don't mind it looking a little homemade, build it yourself. To me, I think all of these things are right on the edge of buy or DIY. And hey, I am all about a weekend with friends building cool stuff for your car. So that tells you exactly where I land on this category. All right, let's move into the advanced end. This is where buy tends to win for most people. And I would just say that plainly. It is the stuff that you're not going to make at home without an expensive tool set in your garage or workshop. The tops, the square back SUV kit, the fastback, that turns your pickup into an SUV, and that's more structural than I think you might consider because it's removable. It's also going to protect you if the vehicle ever rolls over. The open air kit, the one that opens up the roof, Slate lists that at $39.50, and they label it as advanced right there on the page. That's Slate telling you themselves, this one is not necessarily a driveway job without the right tools. Anything electrical, anything that holds weight over your head, those are things where you just got to reconsider doing it yourself, or have some great friends willing to spend the weekend with you. This is not where you save $40 with a 3D printer. Now, one of the things that I have a love-hate relationship with here on YouTube is the comments. It absolutely makes me want to make more videos when people give thoughtful responses to my videos. And it also is not good for my mental health otherwise. But a guy named Not Ready left my favorite dream accessory in the whole thread: a fake manual transmission. A real stick, a fake clutch pedal, and a program that makes the electric motor act like you're actually shifting just for fun. I think that's an incredible idea, and it would add so much fun to this truck. Going back to my last video, or the previous Slate video, I should say, talking about the old Mazda trucks in the 90s. That's the kind of thing that is the most appealing about this truck, but also not something you're just going to knock out on a Tuesday in your garage by yourself unless you're really, really talented. So when it comes to the advanced tier, I would say you should buy it or pay somebody who does this for a living. Your roof should not be your first project. Work your way up to it maybe. Now that I can get behind. But in general, you just want to be smart and safe in all of these modifications. And anything that puts you at risk is not really worth doing it yourself, unless of course you have some parental supervision. One comment that I should probably clear up, because I think it will save people money if they misunderstood how I was saying that, is the solar cover. A guy named Lee Berger pointed out that the solar truck cover does not charge the truck. It's for camping. And that's what I was trying to relate it to in the camping conversation, but it basically runs a power station, not the battery for the truck. So if you were thinking about buying that so you could get free miles sitting in a parking lot, that's not really going to be an efficient way to do it. There's probably aftermarket ways to do that. I've watched videos from other creators for different electric vehicles that have done that. But I think it's safe to say that you should only buy that solar cover if you're using it for camping. Outside of that, there's a lot of workarounds that will obviously come over time, and there will be a lot of cool ways to do something like that, but it's not quite there yet. And I don't know if it's worth spending the $3,500 for the full package. But somebody's going to, and if it's you, I hope you make a YouTube video about it and tell us all how it works out for you. Speaking of camping though, I think this thing is a natural camper base waiting to happen. Maybe it's the Honda Element owner in me, but the bed and the flat panels, the open parts ecosystem, somebody said they could see it working for like a marina or a business rather than an individual. And I would maybe flip that and say the individual who wants to build a little weekend camper out of a bare truck is the exact person Slate drew this thing up for. That's a full buy or DIY project on its own, and it might be the most fun one that you will have with the Slate truck. I think this really is what the accessory system does. It turns your budget into a strategy. The smartest comment on my whole video about the new pricing wasn't necessarily about a part at all. A guy named Steve said, don't finance any accessories. Keep the base truck payment low and order the rest later. Another owner already put his pre-order down and almost said the same thing. That's my mentality with it too. Buy it bare and then customize it as the money comes in. Because you're gonna drive this truck and you're gonna realize that you want some of the things that you didn't get, and you're gonna dislike some of the things that you did get if you buy it all at once. That's the beauty of being able to customize it. And I think that's the move. You don't have to solve the whole truck on day one. It's fun to play with a configurator. I'll probably have 50 different versions by the time you watch this video. But I think you just buy the $24,950 version, live with it for a while, then every month or every few months you make one or two DIY or buy calls, you add some speakers, you add some storage, you print a new dash tray, you get a phone mount, a wrap, one thing at a time. And as somebody in the comments said, I would say watch the extras because they are real. Somebody did some math and 30 grand out the door once you add tax, destination, a radio, a spare tire. Yeah, the spare tire is extra. So is a lot of it. That's not necessarily a Slate problem. That seems like every new vehicle at this point, but it's louder on this truck because the base is so bare that options aren't really options. They're the truck itself. So if you're asking me where I'd draw it out, the beginner tier, just DIY it. Do it yourself, especially if you've got a printer or a buddy who does. This is an easy win for everybody to customize their truck. Paint to me is also kind of a DIYer. If you're a little bit advanced in the DIY stuff, you can wrap it yourself. The panels seem to be simple enough to do that in a good way, but give it a shot before you pay somebody else to do it, in my opinion. If you have it done locally, the benefit of that is you can take it back to them if there's issues or if you get rock chips or something. When you move to the moderate tier, I'd say buy the stuff that has to look right to you. Build the stuff that just has to function. A phone mount doesn't necessarily need to look cool when it's sitting behind a phone, so maybe that's something that you can just pick up for cheap off of Amazon or have somebody print it out. And finally, the advanced tier, this is the stuff I would just say buy it. If you want it right now, buy it from Slate. If you want to wait a little while and you can be patient, you can probably get a lot of this from a reputable aftermarket manufacturer. But generally, stay away from modifying anything structural or electrical because those are the two things I could see Slate weaseling their way out of any kind of warranty with. The Slate isn't really a cheap truck. It's a truck that hands you the pen. $24,950 gets you the paper. Everything after that, you're either writing a check or you're writing it yourself with your time. And the strange, great part is both answers are kind of the right answer. That's the whole point of this thing, in my opinion. But let me know in the comments. Until then, drive yourself happy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.